Right, guys, I think we need to clear up something. Let's get something straight. The reason I do what I do. By the way, I'm not having to go at anybody else. It's more. Again, you see it more on the fringes than you do with the average audience member. So it's hard to make videos that don't sound like I'm attacking you, but I'm genuinely not. It's like Steve earlier on thought I was talking about him. So no, I'm not. Rin would say if the cat fits, but with me it's a bit more nuanced because there are different ways that people communicate with me. Yeah, obviously I give my email out, and Vin doesn't do that with email, so it's a bit different with me. So I want people to understand one thing that I have already made my mind up on, and to give you an idea of who I'll be blaming, regardless of how this comes out. I need to understand what's going on. However this comes out with both Israel, Russia, America, even America, I'm looking at Saudi Arabia, which is that's just an ongoing effort, a very long ongoing effort. But the point of it being is, when it comes down to blame, there's only one set of people I would blame. That's our governments, our constant uni-party governments that have constantly allowed this, that have, whether it's in the past, whether it's more recent, it doesn't matter. If any of these things are going on, which some of them are, because we can see them, they're going on because our government has allowed it, and governments previous have allowed it. They've even wanted it. You've got very rich countries out there versus our country, which was basically broke by 1942, I think it was, in World War II, and have kind of been since. I know they say we've got was it fifth largest economy or whatever, but we struggle, and we'd struggle to actually hold that. So I want people to understand, whether we're talking about Islam, whether we're talking about Israel, whether we're talking about Russia, whoever, if our governments or Europe, actually particularly Europe, I keep meaning to mention Europe because that's an important one, European Union. Our government keeps doing the things that it does, and governments previous, Conservative or Labour, have done things previous, which Maastricht Treaty, all these things that have sold us out over the years. And if I'm going to do any blaming at the end of all this, regardless of what I find, it's going to be at the people who have run this country, and the people that have sold our country away, whoever they've sold it to, whoever they've done deals with, whoever they are colluding with, whoever they are serving even, is kind of irrelevant to a point, because the only reason I want to know is to prove whatever's going on, because the ultimate accountability comes down to the people who've been running this country for decades. And if something like this has been allowed to happen, they've allowed it to happen. The establishment has allowed it to happen. So, and this is why I believe we need to completely flush out the establishment. But this is the ultimate answer, that any kind of collusion with foreign governments, any kind of monetary deals or other deals that affect our politics in a negative way, anything that does that, it's foreign interference, it's foreign aggression. All of those things should be looked at, and when you then find your government is doing that regularly and happily with other countries, they are literally traitors. They're giving away your country. That's what traitor means, give away. They're giving away your country. Makes them traitors, literal traitors, not just a hyperbolic word, actual traitors. So the people that will get the most anger from me won't be the Jews, won't be the Russians, won't be the Islamists. It'll be the fucking establishment. Make it very, very clear. The establishment that hates its own people, hates its own colour skin, those people are my enemy number one. Make that totally clear. Because otherwise, not going to understand what I'm aiming for here. And I really want people to understand and even take the journey with me. You know, whatever I find, the buck still stops with our leaders, no matter what I find. You with me? So, you know, there's no point just blaming an entire race or whatever else. Like I said, Heisenberg's theories prevent that anyway. If you understand some of Heisenberg's theories, not Heisenberg although it is named after the same person from Breaking Bad, but he had a lot of theories that have turned out to be kind of facts so far. They've yet to be broken. And one of the things was about systems and religions and things like that. And that is that you cannot you can't say every single person is guilty of anything, because you cannot make a system which fits 100% of its target audience. It's impossible. It's never been done, probably never will be done. So that's why we talk about the onion when we talk about Islam, for instance, because you just can't say everybody's the same, because science will not allow for that, and it's been proven. You can see the same thing if you clone. You can see the same thing if you try and make copies of a movie over and over again. It will, again, the systems thing, the margin of error, you will always find copies will eventually degrade, no matter whether you're doing digitally or otherwise. So these are all Heisenberg's theories. So I'm not here to try and rip down an entire race. I am here to say this government should be as criticisable as any other. Definitely. I don't understand why it's not. And I am here to find out if anything is going on and what it is. As well as I am with other countries. All foreign aggression is important to worry about. But again, the buck, if our government's doing it willingly, then the buck stops with our government. They have not been protecting their citizens, something we already know. So I'm trying to find out in how many ways they've not been protecting their citizens, how many ways they betrayed us, and why exactly they want to be traitors to us. That's the goal here. Tom Fury, Zero News, calling it a day for now.